Hi. I've thought of making this video for many, many months, and I haven't done it until today, obviously. The resistance I have to making this particular video tells me that this may be the most difficult one I've done in quite some time. For those who don't know me or my story, I've battled depression and suicidal thoughts for many years, decades even. And in fact, I'm a survivor of multiple suicide attempts. Even at times when I felt fine, I always had this lingering fear that my period of fineness would end, and would end harshly. I often saw myself as depression, as suicide, as suicidal thoughts, and as opposed to someone with occasionally having bouts of depression or suicidal thoughts. And I'm not quite a hoarder, but I have hoarding potential, and I do hold on to things that have some sort of emotional meaning to me. I have boxes of notebooks and journals and just stuff going all the way back to high school, and I hold on to things that aren't necessarily good for me either. But in recent years, I've really been trying to change that, to get rid of my clutter, to get rid of things that I'm holding on to that remind me of periods of my life that I didn't even enjoy. From some things last year I auctioned off hundreds of concert shirts, got rid of lots of unused appliances and stuff. It doesn't matter. But I have a tendency to keep stuff, trying to get rid of it. That's the main point here. One of the hardest things in my journey, in my own growth, has been letting go of that self-identification with depression and suicide. I was terrified of who I would be if I was no longer depressed and suicidal. As I said before, I saw myself as depression. I saw myself as suicidal thoughts. Not someone that had thoughts, but that I was them. And it was terrifying to consider what I might be without that identity. For as horrible as I felt when I was depressed, there was something comforting there, right? I knew how to feel that way. I was used to that. It doesn't make sense. Even though I was suicidal, I could exist that way. I could navigate life day to day being depressed, being suicidal. I somehow was adept at that, or at least I was used to it. And that's what I mean by there was a comfort zone. I was just so used to it, it was scary, terrifying, and just difficult to even imagine the possibility of not feeling that way forever. Who would I be then? Who is Andy Grant if he's not the depressed suicidal guy? I didn't know. And I really feared being trapped in life, not liking it and having no way out. So there's one thing that I've thought of throwing away countless times, but I haven't. And well, let me just show it to you. So here we are in my bedroom. Here's my bureau, and tucked back in here is... Now this isn't real. It's just a plastic air pistol. It should have a red tip to tell everyone that it's fake, but I've doctored it. It's black. I originally bought a collection of these about 15 years ago for some short films I was working on, but I cannot remember when I took this one out and darkened the tip. But there were multiple times that my plan was to take this fake gun into the city, into the projects of Boston, into some big protest in DC, in New York City, out in Missouri, when all the protests over the last few years about police violence and people getting shot, being armed with toys, being armed with nothing, it was my intention to go brandish this and have someone shoot me, have someone kill me. I've thought about throwing it away multiple times, but I haven't. A few months ago, it fell. It made some noise back there, and my wife saw it, and I just scrambled and said, "Oh, I put that there years ago to chase away coyotes," and forgot about it. You know, whatever. I don't even know what I said, but I just knew lie. But it's finally come the time that this goes away instead of me. Fuck you. Well, thank God this camera is on a tripod because this is how much I'm shaking still. And this isn't nerves or DTs or Parkinson's or anything like that. This is just how much energy has been released to flow, to move on in me. And it's just the struggle of sitting here trying to be still and process that, let it happen. So I invite you to see what there is in your life that you've been holding on to. Something emotionally, something physically that you know no longer serves you, but you're still bringing it with you everywhere you go. Maybe, just maybe, today is the day that you can smash that thing to fucking bits. Be good to yourself and let me know how it goes.